Hello, everybody. Back again for another episode of Medicine with a Mission, Faith, Family, and the Profession. Zoomcast is what I'm going to call them from now on, since that's what we're using. We are now on episode 28 overall, and we have been featuring a Christian athletic trainer the entire month of March, and because it is National Athletic Training Month. And so today we have a friend of mine I've known we were just talking offline for like 10 or 15 years. She was one of our very first volunteers to go on an international project with Christian Sports Medicine Alliance. And she went to the Dominican and Panama for us during those times. I think it was like 2009. So so it's been a long time. Renatta, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Paul?
Doing good. It's been a while. I think it's been a couple of years. Obviously, last year we didn't see each other.
Right. No kidding.
2019 since we saw each other at SWATA.
Yes.
So Renatta, you are, where are you? What is your setting? Kind of tell our audience kind of your background, how you got to where you are at the place where your education background, the whole 9 yards.
Okay. So originally I'm from Lubbock, Texas. I grew up there and I went to school at Midwestern State in Wichita Falls. So I kind of became an athletic trainer under apprenticeship type, grandfathered in. Denton High School was the very last place that I sent my resume, and really the only place that called me back for any kind of interview. So I went on 2 interviews there, and at the end of this year, I will have been at Denton High School for 16 years. And so not only am I, me and a coworker work at Denton High School, I also teach pretty much freshman level science courses and senior level science courses at Denton High School. I love it. I really can't see myself in any other setting than the high school. So yeah.
So you teach you teach that many classes. How many classes do you think you teach a day?
So I teach 2 a day. So we have athletics in the morning and in the afternoon, and then I teach honors biology. On one day we have like a modified block schedule, and on the other days I teach anatomy and physiology. So literally freshmen and seniors are who I teach, and I love it. I've only been teaching freshmen for the last 2 years, and initially I didn't think I was going to like it because I was very used to the senior level students, but I think I might love it more just because they're a little bit sillier.
Sure.
They don't really take life quite so serious yet, so I like them.
Cool. Well, I had mentioned, and we had talked about this offline. You have been to the Dominican, to the DR, and then you have also been to Panama with us. So I want to kind of touch on that because we're talking that those are 2 countries that we are looking to go back into, hopefully, cross our fingers, in the coming years. With CSMA's kind of refocus of our geographical vision of really impacting and engaging all of Latin America and the Caribbean. So tell us about your experiences in the Dominican, if you can remember back that far.
I think I can.
And Panama. Can you tell us what you were able to do and how you were able to utilize your faith and athletic training at the same time?
Yes. So I believe, and if I get them crossed, it was pretty similar in both places. In both places, we taught Noah's Ark, the story of Noah's Ark, to several schools. So we were invited into several elementary schools and what they consider a kind of middle school, high school level schools. And we kind of brought the story of Noah's Ark. And then in both places, we covered some junior Olympic teams that played with one of the soccer teams that went. So I believe it was Panama, a group of women's soccer team from Georgia went. And so they were playing games kind of tournament style with other junior Olympic teams and high school teams there in Panama. And so I was able to kind of be the athletic trainer on site. And then at the end of the day, we would kind of come together and just kind of share our stories, and the coach of the team would lead a Bible study for us. And then in the Dominican, we did the same thing, Noah's Ark kind of study or we did like a little play. We dressed up like animals and we did a little play with the communities. And then we did more, we kind of helped build things a little bit more. And then I think in the Dominican, I didn't do athletic training quite as much. I was kind of able more to share just kind of how my testimony in coming to faith, and then how I'm able to, because I work in a high school, you can't really share your faith so openly, in that you can't say that you're a Christian and you do those things, but just in how you treat everybody, and how you carry yourself, and pretty much invite people into your world and whatever that looks like. So that's what I did mostly in the Dominican, versus athletic training. I did more athletic training stuff in Panama. So it was super fun. I got to mainly see a lot of little kids, and little kids just want to love you. So that's just fun anyways. So it was a very neat experience. In the Dominican, we were able to share our testimonies at the different churches we went to. So there was probably about 5 of us that went to the Dominican, and each of us shared a testimony at a different church. And so to experience the churches there is crazy, because most of the churches in the Dominican are outside.
Yeah.
So you hold church in a pavilion. So if it's 100 degrees, great. If it's a like hurricane, you're still having church and you just keep going. So that was a different experience, but it was so much fun.
So what do you, speaking of, working in countries like that, what was your experience with their access or their knowledge of what we do, or lack thereof?
Most of them had no idea what we did. There was one community in the Dominican that, like, one of the missionaries there, she was also a nurse. So she took care of them. So while I was there, I kind of just walked around with her and visited with her, and going through the people's homes that she was kind of treating and taking care of. And so because I was helping her, they just kind of looked at me as another healthcare worker, trying to explain to them being an athletic trainer. Most of them it was confusing as, oh, you're a coach, you teach the kids about their sport. And I'm like, no, not really. And so it was kind of hard to make the crossover between working with athletes and doing a bunch of the same stuff that the nurse that lived on that property was doing with them. So that was a little bit more difficult. In the Dominican, there weren't the kids that were playing sports, they pretty much knew what we were. But in the villages and places like that, they had zero idea what we were doing, because most of the children there were playing sports to hopefully better their family life down the road. Like, that's one of the reasons most of the kids play sports. So it was very difficult to explain what an athletic trainer does and separate it from what a coach does versus what a medical professional does. Okay. So that was difficult.
Yeah. So do you see opportunities for an athletic trainer to go into these countries and to make a true impact on, especially in the Dominican, because the Dominican is the home of Major League Baseball.
Yes, 100%.
Let's take them out of the equation. Outside of that, do you see the opportunity for a Christian athletic trainer to go into the DR or Panama and make a significant impact on the lives of athletes and their healthcare?
Yes, 100%. And I think a lot of it has to do, just kind of what I see in my school, we're kind of that bridge that determines whether or not something is an emergency that you need to see a physician to get medication and or surgery, things like that. And to me, our skills are such that, and saving money is a bad way to put it, but like, not a lot of things are emergencies.
Right.
But a lot of things that we can do is to treat those things that could become emergencies and kind of give them a way to take care of themselves at home. Yes. With the tools, athletic trainers, we use random things to do rehab and things like that most people don't know that you can use. Like a soup can as a foam roller. Like, that's what I tell my kids all the time. If you don't have a foam roller, grab a soup can. Like, you can do the same things. So I think our knowledge in using things that are not so advanced would help communities like that they can take care of a lot of things that won't become an issue later down the road, or that might not become an issue later down the road. So
yeah. And how do you think, I mean, knowing that, again, it goes back to, because our whole profession is based on relationships.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're going in and you're literally starting from ground zero,
Mm-hmm.
if not below ground zero.
Very true.
You know, and I made the comment before, and I stand by it, that the areas that we go into, nothing is more than what they have, because they don't have a knowledge of athletic trainers or even sports medicine.
Yeah, at all.
Don't have sports medicine people that are skilled enough to adequately take care of an athletic injury. So that's step in, and we can, as athletic trainers, we can make a difference in their lives.
Yeah.
So, were you able to share the gospel? Were you able to kind of bridge that gap between why are you here from America, to this is why I'm here to talk to you?
Yeah. Yes. So a lot of them, they see or they hear that you are some type of healthcare, you kind of like make that connection, and they just assume that you do it just because there's money involved. And so there is a way to, how do I even put it? Give me a second. Like, I get to use, and I think, I don't know, there's somebody that went with us in one of those trips, and it was like, I have these skills that I can help others without payment of any sort.
Yes.
And so, and as athletic trainers, we do that. Yes, it's our profession. Yes, we have jobs that pay us, but most athletic trainers jump in and do things because we know how to do things.
Right.
And so that was a big thing that, I think I was talking to one mom, or a mom and a daughter, something like that. And it was like, I have these skills that I know how to do, but my love for helping others was placed on my heart by Jesus Christ. Because ever since I was little, I've wanted to help people. Medical school was not it for me. I loved sports, but the fact that I can connect the two, mainly the helping part of it, was one of the ways I was able to like connect the two, because I've always known I wanted to be a helper, always, since I was little. And I think, and not even until probably a couple years into actually teaching and being an athletic trainer in the secondary schools, where I was like, okay, this is my calling. My calling is to help people, to share my faith using the skills that God allowed me to use, that He has allowed me to use and allowed me to learn, and think nothing of it. Like nothing of it. Like, I saw a lady this morning at church, and she had a brace on her hand, and I'm like, I wonder if she has the access to the therapy that she needs, because it's expensive. Going to doctors, going to physical therapists is expensive. And to me, I think athletic trainers are underutilized in the fact that we could bridge that gap, that one or two extra physical therapy sessions or sports medicine therapy sessions, that we could make them a little bit better.
Yep.
And so to take that overseas, I'm like, oh, I have these skills. Okay, let's go. Like, why not?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think, in being able to, and you have said it exactly the way I would have said it, to take the skills that we have, that we know that God has given us, has gifted us with, that has entrusted to us to take for one purpose and one purpose only, which is to glorify Him.
Yep. To
go to some place that they don't have access to what we have.
Yeah.
And no fault of their own.
Right.
The way it is. We're able to go and to serve and to educate and to equip as well as we possibly can, coaches and parents and athletes, of how to better, just how do you take care of yourself just a little bit better?
Yeah.
And we're hoping that because our profession that is based on developing relationships, we're able to develop a relationship with them to where we can share the gospel and see them come to know Jesus Christ as their Savior.
Yes. Yes. And 100%, like, nobody's going to let you help until you build that little bit of a relationship.
Right.
And to
And it's
me,
the
they
same
give
thing
it.
with you at your school. And it's the same
Yeah.
thing at school. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so, like, nobody cares what you know
Yep.
until they know you're going to take care of them.
Correct.
And that has to be first. Like, that 100% has to be first, because they don't care that you know all those things.
Yep. You know, and
So
I had earlier say it kind of piggyback on what you just said, that we have to look at them not as, when we go to these places, not look at them as, oh, poor this person, this person, this person. We have to look at them as a fellow human.
yeah. Yes.
And it's the same thing with you at Denton High School, or when I was at Timberview in Mansfield. Or I have to look at my athletes as not just an athlete that is scoring points, but as a person that needs help.
Yes.
I am the person, you are the person that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are able to, again, develop that relationship with that person, that maybe down the road somewhere, God will give us an opportunity to notice that there's something going on in their life, that we're able to share the gospel with them.
Yes. Yes. 100%. And I think, I mean, even just as simple as giving a Band-Aid, sometimes it's way bigger than giving a Band-Aid, but they know to come in to get a Band-Aid. Like, it's so much bigger than a Band-Aid sometimes. And for them to feel safe enough to come in to ask for that Band-Aid,
Yep.
even if it's so small, they know that I'm going to take care of more than that Band-Aid's going to cover.
Right.
Heart issue, whatever.
I kind of wish some of our colleagues would I wish we would understand, as a profession as a whole, would understand that you said it perfectly, that for them to feel safe enough and ask for the smallest thing that we have in our athletic training room.
Yes.
Should mean a lot to us, because that is, you have developed a relationship.
Yeah.
Already.
Yes. 100%. And I think being an athletic trainer, having those skills that we've been gifted with, entrusted with, just opens that door up so much more.
Right.
Because, and I don't know if you've come across, some people are very intimidated by nurses and doctors, and just because, oh my gosh, they've gone through so much school, which I have, and I'm not trying to take away from that, but it's easier to walk into a training room and just visit if you need to visit than it is to walk into your cardiologist room and visit just to visit. Just a little bit. And I mean, even like now, like my training room, and I'm sure a lot of athletic trainers in the same setting, we're having to do treatment times and things like that just to reduce our numbers in the training room, which is okay. But I really like having a room full of 30, 40 people, because half of those kids just want to come in and visit. They want a safe place to visit and to be okay. And if they have a question that happens to be medical, they can ask.
Right. Exactly.
So.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Renatta, before we let you go, come to that all important question. What would be, looking back on your career, looking back on your life, what would be that one verse? Our verse is, because some people have multiple, have had a lot, that would be, you would probably consider to be the foundation for your life.
Okay. So mine all the time is Hebrews 11:1. Okay. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. To me, that's kind of like in the athletic training room. No two injuries are the same, even if it is the same injury. No 2 days is the same. So being able to trust that God has given you these skills to take care of more than people's physical wounds, maybe their heart wounds or their soul wounds, just gives me, I mean, honestly hope, like that each day comes with its struggles, but it's going to be okay. Even if you don't need the little Band-Aid, we'll give you the little Band-Aid.
Yep.
So Hebrews 11:1, I think, is the one that I go to the most.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. And
Yes.
thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Been a good time. Hopefully we'll be able to maybe cross our fingers, maybe to see each other at SWATA this year if we have it in person.
No, I know, right?
Just talking to someone yesterday said, man, I hope we go in person. I'm so tired of this Zoom.
Me too. Me too. Even people that you don't know, they look familiar at SWATA. So it's like you're seeing
Exactly.
family, even though they're like distant cousins. You don't ever
Right.
see them but once a year. So
Exactly. Well, I appreciate it. And if you are interested in learning more about Christian Sports Medicine Alliance and the places that we are going and what we're doing, visit us on our website at christiansportsmed.org. You can also follow us on Twitter at tweetcsma. And if you're a Christian athletic trainer, or you know a Christian athletic trainer that you would like to just share a place where they can go do life, share what God's doing in their life, share their favorite verse, share whatever. It's on Facebook. It's called Beyond the ATR. It's a great place. We have well over 2,000 athletic trainers that are on there specifically for them. They can just do whatever. They can just tell us everything. Be transparent. So until next time, we appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Renatta, again, thank you for joining us, and
thank you.
see you down the road.
Yes. Thank you.